face. Goodbye. Potato.
Hello, I'm Samantha Jolly. You're watching 7's Afternoon News live from Perth. Coming up, the victim of racial abuse at a Perth train station, TV star Ernie Dingo, finally speaks out. A police officer becomes a hero after the dramatic ocean rescue of a fisherman near Dunsborough. Heartbreaking new details on the tragedy off Coral Bay after a boat capsised. Dark times, the PM opens up on what he calls devastating unemployment figures, with WA the worst in the country. And could a former England captain soon be running Australian cricket? Australian actor Ernie Dingo has opened up over a racist attack at Perth train station. Today, the Indigenous TV star broke his silence on that incident that happened during peak hour yesterday morning. The 63-year-old says he was boarding a train when a stranger abused him with a racist slur. The much-loved personality says he's been fighting racism since he was a boy.
I just went up and asked him to repeat it so that everyone can hear what he said. Give me a reason to whack you. I had a backpack on and a hoodie, so I grabbed his hoodie, scruffed him back towards me, and as he came back and went forward, he, you do that sort of thing. So I whacked him that way and he slipped, fell over, his foot went between the platform and the train. So I dragged him away from there and I offered him again to ask. I asked him, I said, say it again and give me a reason to whack you. He wouldn't say it because he was scared I caught him. He wasn't expecting me to catch him. But it was what he said that had upset me to make me chase him. But people seem to think that they can say things and run.
In 7 News tonight at 6, hear more from Ernie Dingo and his follow-up social media post. Plus, Indigenous Affairs Minister Ben Wyatt weighs in, revealing his experience with racial abuse. 2 teenagers have been arrested after they allegedly carjacked a pizza delivery man at Knife Point in Kwinana. Crime reporter Joey Catanzaro has the details.
2 teenagers, a knife and a pizza delivery man. Apparently a recipe for trouble here in Kwinana. This is the pizza delivery shop a young man named Aloka was making deliveries for. Police say 2 teenagers confronted him here about 7 p.m. last night and stole his car at Knife Point. This was his car a short time later, shorter wheel and going nowhere. Officers began a pursuit of the vehicle after spotting it on Gilmore Avenue not long after it was allegedly stolen. The chase ended when the Mitsubishi Lancer collided with a police car in nearby Aurelia. No one was injured, but 2 teenagers, aged just 16 and 13, were taken into custody and are now facing a string of charges. I spoke with the pizza delivery man a short time ago. He's a Sri Lankan international student here studying engineering. He's only been living in WA for a few months. He says he's now lost his sense of security, his car and his livelihood.
Heart-stopping video has been released of the moment a fisherman was rescued by police. He'd slipped from Sugarloaf Rock near Dunsborough and lost his footing again just as an officer pulled him to higher ground. The rescue was filmed by a drone operator who happened to be there and helped police find the man in the ocean.
Given the state of the guy and his how exhausted he was, he could have fallen back in. So yeah, it probably saved precious time, I guess.
In 7 News at 6, hear from the constable involved in the dramatic rescue. The family of Bob and Jan Oostrick, the couple who drowned after their boat capsised off Coral Bay in our state's northwest, has released a statement. Let's bring in reporter Emily Baker. And Em, what new information has been revealed about the tragedy?
Sam, some harrowing and heartbreaking details. We'll get to those shortly. But first, this is a photo of Bob and Jan Oostrick, released by their loved ones today. They have described the couple as incredible people who were full of life and loved Coral Bay. They were actually on board with their youngest son, Ryan, and his girlfriend, Galina, when this ocean emergency unfolded. It was about 2 p.m. on Tuesday when 2 big waves smashed into their boat while they were fishing off Coral Bay. Mr. and Mrs. Ulstrich were knocked unconscious and drowned. And after desperate attempts to save them, Ryan and Galena had to make the devastating decision to leave their bodies behind and swim to safety. Tonight in 7 News at 6 o'clock, hear about their treacherous journey to land and how they fought to survive. Sam.
Emily, thank you. Australia's unemployment rate has skyrocketed to an almost 20-year high. The Prime Minister describing the situation as heartbreaking. Scott Morrison and Treasurer Josh Frydenberg fronted the media this afternoon as they attempt to plot a course out of the COVID crisis that has now claimed almost 1 million jobs.
Well, it's the economic consequence of tackling the pandemic. Businesses were forced to close to control the spread of the coronavirus, and now we're learning just how many jobs have been lost as a result. 227,700 gone between April and May, resulting in a 7.1% unemployment rate.
This is another very hard day. 38 months of job creation gone.
And the Prime Minister says that's likely to get worse. These numbers obscure the real picture. A total of 838,000 jobs have been lost since February. The underemployment and participation rates have fallen to record lows, which means
the unemployment rate would be more like 11.3%.
The sad truth is these numbers are not surprising in the circumstances.
3 million Australians are receiving JobKeeper and are technically defined as employed. When the subsidy ends in September, many won't return to work.
It beggars belief, when faced with hundreds of thousands of job losses, that the government's top priority is to find a way to end JobKeeper.
Welfare changes are being discussed with an increase to the job seeker rate on the table.
The old New Start rate of $40 a day is not enough for people to support themselves.
These are our dark times, but I can see that ray of light.
Both the JobKeeper and Job Seeker schemes are under review by Treasury. Changes will be announced to coincide with a mini-budget update release on July 23.
And there's been a massive shock to WA's jobless rate, now the worst in the country. Jeff Parry joins me in the studio. Jeff, how do we get there?
How indeed, Sam. It's almost unthinkable, isn't it? 8.1%. That's 2 percentage points increase on last month. The national unemployment figure is 7.1%. These are historically high figures and not unexpected given all the job losses we saw during the onslaught of the coronavirus, particularly in the entertainment and hospitality industries. A lot of those jobs were filled by young people. So youth unemployment is now soaring at around 16%.
This is obviously the devastating price that the Western Australian community has paid and is continuing to pay to fight the coronavirus.
Devastating indeed. It's 112,000 West Aussies out of work. Without JobKeeper and JobSeeker, that would be much higher. The opposition says the McGowan government has no reliable recovery plan.
There needs to be underlying reform and an approach that actually looks at long-term sustainable jobs for Western Australia, and that's not occurring.
The government says these terrible job figures only take into account the first 2 weeks in May and precede the introduction of stage 2 relaxation restrictions. But there's no two ways about it, Sam. These are dreadful figures.
Yeah, awful times. Jeff, thanks for joining us. The prosecution in the Claremont serial killings trial has finally rested its case in a mammoth trial. Prosecutor Carmel Barbagallo says Bradley Robert Edwards murdered the 3 young women after picking them up in Claremont, and the state's case is based on logic. Ms Barbagallo told Justice Hall the trial had cast light on and unmasked the killer sought by so many for so long. The defence is now presenting its closing arguments. Sacked US police officer Garrett Rolfe has been charged with the murder of Rayshard Brooks after the African-American man was shot in a car park in Atlanta. As Paul Caddick reports, the officer's partner is also facing charges.
Good afternoon. It's now been 6 days since Rayshard Brooks was shot and killed, and now the police officer who fired has been charged with murder and could now face the death penalty. Garrett Rolfe faces 11 charges. Prosecutors today revealing evidence Rolfe kicked Brooks after he'd been shot.
I think you've had too much to drink to be driving.
Brooks was found asleep in his car, failed a sobriety test, which is when Rolf and his partner Devon Bronson tried to arrest him. That's when things escalated. Investigators say Brooks grabbed one of the officers' tasers and ran. In surveillance video, he's seen turning around and firing the taser before he's shot twice in the back. Lawyers for Rolf argued he feared for his safety, but prosecutors say he knew the taser had been fired twice and so was no longer a threat.
We've concluded at the time Mr. Brooks was shot that he did not pose an immediate threat of death.
I can't imagine being there because I don't know what I would have done if I would have seen that for myself. But I felt everything that he felt just by hearing what he went through. And it hurt. It hurt really bad.
Outrage over Brooks's death spilled onto the streets of Atlanta. The fast food restaurant outside where this happened was set on fire. The second officer, Bronson, has also been charged with aggravated assault. Both men have until tomorrow night to hand themselves in.
A 92-year-old grandmother has narrowly escaped serious injury after a Land Cruiser ploughed into her Dudley Park home. Jean Cashmore was watching television around 7 p.m. when she heard tyres screeching before the four-wheel drive crashed into her bedroom. She was taken to hospital for a checkup and treated for a foot injury. The 20-year-old woman behind the wheel dumped the vehicle nearby before handing herself into police. Labor leader Anthony Albanese has backed one of his MPs to hold a key security role in federal parliament despite the leaking of hostile and explicit text messages from the MP's phone. Tim Lester takes up the story in Canberra.
Just 2 days ago, the Somyurek sting looked largely a matter for Victorian Labor. Now, it's well and truly a headache here.
We acted decisively.
Anthony Albanese on Monday's dumping of Victorian Minister Adam Somyurek, accused of wide-scale branch stacking with vulgar attacks on colleagues recorded and leaked. Now, Mr Somyurek has counterpunched, making public text messages sent to him over 2 years by the man he blames for the sting, Federal Labor MP Anthony Byrne.
These comments are completely unacceptable and inappropriate.
They include this on Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews. Hope he enjoys the victory. I hope this signs his death warrant politically.
Oh, look, I think those text messages speak for themselves.
On ex-Labor Senator Sam Dastyari, crooked, corrupt. On former federal colleague Alan Griffin, I want him destroyed. I want his head cut off.
And I've counselled Mr Byrne about his language.
Anthony Byrne has long been Labor's senior figure on Parliament's Intelligence and Security Committee.
So it really is a test for Mr Albanese as to whether he believes that Mr Byrne should continue to serve on that committee.
This morning, Mr Albanese confirmed Anthony Byrne will continue in the role. The bigger threat for the Labor leader is more angst and payback spilling from the Victorian Party overhaul into the federal sphere.
WACA CEO Christina Matthews says she wouldn't say no if she was approached about the vacancy at Cricket Australia. If she does become a candidate, she may be up against an unlikely contender from beyond our shores. Sir Andrew Strauss, the legendary former England batsman, is being looked at as the new boss of Australian cricket.
2 days since Kevin Roberts was removed in the top job at Cricket Australia, an unlikely frontrunner has emerged to replace him. Former Ashes winning captain Andrew Strauss, born in South Africa before going on to play 100 tests for England, reportedly Cricket Australia's preferred option to take the vacant role.
Bit hard to come across a POM running Australian cricket, but if he's the right guy, he's the right guy.
Australian coach Justin Langer coy on the link when pressed today.
We're going to hear all sorts of names come up, every name imaginable. I'll leave that to you guys to speculate and come up with all these names and, you know, knock yourselves out.
Cricket Australia so far have remained quiet on the link. Insiders, though, say the search for a new CEO has only just begun. And Strauss, while on the shortlist, is among a number of overseas names being considered for the role.
Still to come, a growing coronavirus emergency in Beijing, the city now in lockdown. Also, why Qantas has cancelled all international flights except to New Zealand. And the next space mission to Mars on track despite the pandemic.
only team with inside access is on 7 News.
I'll report every night from the Gold Coast.
Inside AFL with 7 News.
It's the biggest twist in Australian TV history.
Your game is not quite at an end.
She's taking over, and none of them will be ready for her plot twist.
You have no idea what's coming.
The Big Brother Takeover, Sunday, 7 o'clock on 7.
New Special K Lower Sugar. Rise with us. Rise with protein for muscle. With less than 4 grams of sugar. Set goals, then kick them. Try New Special K Lower Sugar.
Unpolished beauty. It defines our country. And at Stratco, it's what we do. Custom crafting, roofing and cladding solutions for remarkable Australian homes. Colorbond Steel's stunning matte finish. Brought to life by Stratco How To.
As credit to you, here's up to $120 credit from us. Add any selected month-to-month mobile plan with Vodafone and get the credit you deserve over 12 months. Find out more at vodafone.com.au. Ready?
If dry or flaky skin is causing you frustration and embarrassment, try E45 cream. It soothes and relieves by creating an effective barrier to protect against skin dryness. Feel comfortable in your skin. Switch to E45.
She loves cats, so tonight I'll borrow my neighbor's.
My babies.
Temptations cat treats.
Introducing the Miracle Chef Air Fryer Oven. The full oven that can air fry 75% more than traditional air fryers. What's the secret? Our stainless airflow racks and 1500 watts of rapid air technology fries food with a whirlwind of superheated air for that great crispy taste without all the added fat and calories. Air fried chicken strips, wings and tasty sea salt curly fries. And all made with that amazing fried food taste without the guilt and up to 70% less calories from fat compared to deep frying. And here's exciting news. The Miracle Chef Air Fryer Oven is a chef-quality air fryer, rotisserie, and a food dehydrator all in one. It features a state-of-the-art touchscreen with 10 presets. With one touch, you can rotisserie, dehydrate, air fry, roast, bake, use it as a pizza oven, grill, toast, and reheat. And all accessories are dishwasher safe, so cleanup is a breeze. The Miracle Chef replaces over $1,500 in appliances. But you won't pay $1,500, not even $500. Call Global Shop Direct or go online now, and you can get the Miracle Chef Air Fryer Oven for the low price on your screen. But this deal gets even better. Call now and get bonus number 1, the extra-large rotating stainless mesh basket. Amazing for French fries and street nuts. Bonus number 2, our stainless rotisserie spit. Perfect for restaurant-style rotisserie chicken and bacon-weaved stuffed turkey. Bonus number 3, we're also including 8 stainless skewers. Carve them table style or serve the whole skewer. Bonus number 4, we'll also include our entire Miracle Chef Air Fryer Oven library. All 3 books included with your order today. And Miracle Chef comes with Global Shop Direct's 30-day money-back guarantee. You get everything you see here, all for this one incredible price. Don't miss out on this incredible TV offer. Order your Miracle Chef Air Fryer Oven today.
You're watching 7's 4 p.m. news live from Perth. It was a bit wet and windy early on, but it's eased to a cool 16 degrees in the city right now. The forecast is coming up soon. International travel has been pushed back, with Qantas cancelling all international flights until October. The airline says it may schedule some flights to New Zealand as part of a trans-Tasman bubble.
Good afternoon. The Qantas announcement that it will cancel its international flights until October has also seen the airline flag that it will shift much of its fleet that's parked here at airports on the eastern seaboard to the Mojave Desert in California. Those planes targeted are the giant A380s. The Mojave Desert is normally a graveyard for retired aircraft. Qantas unsure how many will be sent to the US.
You like to park your aircraft in dry environments with a very dry climate, warm, no humidity.
The airline is hoping to have some flights to New Zealand as part of the trans-Tasman bubble. A short time ago, the airline released its latest passenger numbers it's carrying in Australia. In the past week, the numbers have doubled up to 64,000 or 15% of capacity. Meanwhile, the airline industry is waiting for an announcement from Administrator Deloitte on the future of Virgin Airlines.
Scott Morrison and Boris Johnson are on the verge of securing a free trade deal to ease visa rules and deliver billions to Australia's economy. The announcement came before the UK Prime Minister's convoy was caught up in a minor crash. Hugh Whitfeld reports.
Boris Johnson's convoy was leaving Parliament after another bruising session of parliamentary questions. The convoy was driving through the gates onto Parliament Square when a demonstrator stood in front of the Prime Ministerial car. Now, the Prime Minister's car stopped, but the Land Rover Discovery carrying police officers behind did not, violently rear-ending the Prime Ministerial Jaguar. You can see the security detail and the driver in the front being thrown violently forward. The Prime Minister was in the back seat. There was damage to the car. The Jaguar was worth about $100,000. The demonstrator who seemingly caused the accident was arrested as this kerfuffle played out in the middle of central London. Downing Street tells us the Prime Minister was not injured, his security detail and driver all okay as well. It came just a couple of hours after Boris Johnson launched negotiations between Australia and the UK on the new free trade agreement that both countries are hoping to strike in a post-Brexit world. And it seems Boris Johnson is hoping for some cut-price chocolate biscuits.
We send you Marmite, you send us Vegemite, we send you penguins, and you send us, with reduced tariffs, these wonderful Arnott's Tim Tams. How long can the British people be deprived of the opportunity to have Arnott's Tim Tams?
On a serious side, we're told here that Australia is hoping for greater flexibility and some concessions when it comes to youth mobility visas. They are the visas that young Australians travel on over here to the UK so they can live and work over here in Britain.
There are now grave fears over the growing coronavirus outbreak in Beijing, with China raising its emergency warning to the second highest level. The capital is now in virtual lockdown, with travel in and out of Beijing halted as thousands line the streets to be tested.
This deadly enemy of mankind is still somewhere, and it's ready to bounce back, and it's ready to attack human beings. And all of us need to be on full alert.
Nearly 150 new cases have been identified in the city over the past week. An abattoir in Germany is at the centre of a new COVID crisis, with more than 600 employees testing positive to the virus. Around 7,000 people have been forced to quarantine, with more infections expected to be confirmed. It's the largest local outbreak since the country began reopening its economy early last month. A recently reopened bar has been forced to close in Florida after 16 customers tested positive for coronavirus. A group of friends visited the pub 2 weeks ago before all falling sick, with 7 staff members also infected. Florida is among 22 states where cases are rising, adding to calls that the economy has reopened too soon. Landing a spacecraft on Mars in the middle of a global pandemic certainly has its challenges, but NASA is undeterred, pushing ahead with its latest launch next month.
We're talking about something the size of an SUV. But he named it Perseverance, and I think right now more than ever, that name is so important.
NASA says if it didn't go ahead, it could be more than 2 years before it could reschedule. Up next, the search for healthy volunteers to take part in a COVID vaccine trial. Plus, the little boy who learned the hard way why 3-year-olds shouldn't be behind the wheel of a car. And calls for an international inquiry into police brutality in the United States.
Rob Lowe and Liv Tyler in the action-packed 911 Lone Star on 7.
Join AHM Hospital and Extras Direct and you'll get 6 weeks free. Plus, we'll waive any 2 and 6 month waits on extras.
Yay!
Whether you're a single, a couple, or a family. It's that simple. That doesn't look very simple. Offer ends June 30. Find out more and join AHM Direct today. AHM, the simple bit.
Have you filed a claim for compensation for a car or work accident injury? Do you know how much you deserve and what your outstanding claim is worth? Phone solicitor Simon Walters for your free initial consultation now.
You're relying on our network more, so we're accelerating the rollout of Telstra 5G, giving more people and businesses access to fast download speeds in more places than ever.
For the mid-afternoon naps. For the midnight marathons. For bringing the family together. For a chance to escape from the world. For the good times and the other times. For the years of support. Danks Furniture. The comfort of home.
Saddler's Home. Hamilton feather bedded sofa. Thomas table and chair set. Adrian chair. Solid wood TV unit. Homewares reduced. House is not a home without Saddler's Home.
How's this for absolutely incredible value? MG3 Auto 5-door hatch with Apple CarPlay and reverse camera is only $15,990. The sporty MG ZS Auto SUV with alloy wheels is just $22,990. And the luxurious MG HS SUV with alloys and leatherette seats is now $29,990. All drive away with 7-year warranty and roadside assist. Only at John Hughes MG in Victoria Park.
WA, now's your chance to dream with the $20 million Saturday Lotto Super Draw. So get your tickets and play for WA.
When you feel a tickly sore throat coming on, get rapid relief with Diplam Fort Sore Throat Spray from Chemist Warehouse. The adjustable nozzle directly targets the site of pain. No wonder it's the #1 throat spray in Australia. Right now at Chemist Warehouse, Diplam Fort Sore Throat Spray is just $10.99. For more severe pain, try new Diplam Plus Anaesthetic Sore Throat Spray with an effective triple action formula. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
A runaway car with a 3-year-old boy behind the wheel has crashed into a house in Queensland. It's thought the child climbed into his parents' unlocked vehicle and accidentally knocked it out of park. The car rolled across the sloping street in Toowoomba and smashed into a neighbour's lounge room. No one, including the little driver, was injured. Screening began today as Australian scientists look to recruit 120 healthy volunteers for a COVID-19 vaccine trial. The potentially world-changing research is the brainchild of Queensland experts.
Well, if you're aged between 18 and 55 and if you're healthy, you could be recruited as one of the 120 volunteers needed to take part in the first human trial of UQ's COVID-19 vaccine. The research is conducted by Aussie-based company Nucleus Network, formerly known as Q-Farm.
It's taken a lot of work to get to this point as quickly as we have. We haven't skipped any steps or missed any of those checks and balances to get the data to support giving it to people.
Participants in the safety trial will receive 2 shots 28 days apart. The first, most likely on July 13th. This is phase 1 of the study, and if it proves successful, it will then move to phase 2, where thousands of volunteers will be needed for more trials.
Similarly, if the data support's progressing from there, we'll do a phase 3 trial, and if that all stacks up, then hopefully the vaccine will be available for more widespread use then.
This is just one of 13 COVID vaccine projects around the world that have made it through to the clinical trial stage.
Imagine if Queensland became home to the vaccine that could save the world from coronavirus.
As for when this could be available for the public, well, that's still too hard to say, but researchers believe they are advancing faster than any other trial before.
The brother of George Floyd is urging the United Nations to investigate police brutality and racial discrimination in the United States. In a recorded message to the international body, Philanese Floyd pleaded for justice following his brother's brutal death last month, which triggered global mass anti-racism protests. The US pulled out of the Human Rights Council 2 years ago, leaving it without a voice at the debate. Protesters have been ploughed down by a rogue driver in Portland. The crowd hit while marching in a police reforms protest, and there were similar scenes on the other side of the US, where a protester in Kentucky was knocked down by a sedan. The driver sped off before they were chased down by a man who pulled a gun on them. The wild weather overnight has caused massive damage to a winery in Margaret River. Noel Brunning joins us from the GWN7 News Desk with the details.
Redgate Wines has been left with a huge damage bill after several trees were blown over in high winds. The main wine storage area was smashed when a huge tree crashed into it. 3 workers inside were lucky to escape. 1 was left with hand injuries. People working out at a Bustleton gym got a shock last night when a car crashed into its front window. It's understood the driver may have had a medical episode. And Albany chainsaw artist Daryl Radcliffe has revealed his latest masterpiece. It's a massive wedge-tail eagle, which he's carving from an old log. When finished, it'll join the 130 other works of art lining his driveway.
Time to check finance now with Stephen Daglian at CommSec. And the interest today was how much effect the surge in unemployment had on the share market.
Good afternoon. Well, look, the Aussie market did fall back today, but it could have been worse because after we had that report on jobs out at around lunchtime today, the Aussie market hit its low. It was down 1.7% before improving from those levels, finishing just shy of 1% as far as how much we actually dropped. But looking at those employment figures, we had the unemployment rate hit 7.1%, up from 6.4% a month earlier, the worst levels in about 19 years, and there were about 227,000 jobs lost in May as well. That was significantly worse than expected. But because of the JobKeeper and JobSeeker payments, it does make it very difficult for economists to get a very, very clear idea of what the labour force is currently looking like. But there are good positive signs that the worst could be behind us as far as job losses are concerned. Today, though, we had some winners and some losers. The worst included some of those travel stocks like Qantas, which was down 3.5%. It's actually said it's going to cancel most of its overseas flights, international flights, through to late October. So that saw other stocks like Sydney Airport, Flight Centre, Webjet, Air New Zealand dropping back. The banks were mostly lower, miners as well, and some of the best were buy now, pay later stocks. So Afterpay hit another record high, and Split It, another buy now, pay later group, actually more than doubled in price after striking a big deal with MasterCard. The Aussie dollar finally a bit of a loser today off the back of those job numbers, 68.7 US.
Italy lifting restrictions despite still recording hundreds of new coronavirus cases. That's ahead. Also, costly crash, what went wrong behind the wheel of this classic car. And raining foam, what caused this spectacular display in an aircraft hangar.
Win $500 cash with the Summer Bay giveaway.
It's worth it.
Get the code word in the new Look Today lift out in the West, and then watch Home and Away for your chance to score $500 cash.
Go on, you know you want to.
It's the Summer Bay giveaway, thanks to Channel 7 and the West Australians' New Look Today.
What could this ordinary mum have that this billionaire wants?
Mrs. Gray.
I was never meant to be a part of his world. I won't play by his rules.
A man died!
He can hold a life in his hands. So can I.
Between Two Worlds, this July on 7.
Your Ford dealer is open and ready to help your business get back to business with high-vis value. So you can get the special edition Ranger FX4 for only $57,990 drive away. Or the special edition Ranger Sport for just $49,490 drive away. And don't forget to check if your business is eligible for the government's instant asset write-off this financial year. So hurry into your Ford dealer now for high-vis value.
With Choices Flooring, you'll find the colour, style and texture you've been searching for right in your own home with our fun new visualiser, Room View. Visit choicesflooring.com.au and start creating.
Professional, affordable and reliable. That's the Rich Tech promise for all your plumbing and electrical needs. Hot water systems, block drains, burst pipes. We're there within the hour. $0 call-out fee. Rich Tech, where service meets quality.
Let's get Rich Tech. These undies make you chafe. And these, as well as these. Chafing is horrible. These are step ones. The inventors of no chafe underwear. They've got these lycra panels between the legs, which means no more chafing. You buy them at step1.life and never chafe again.
Metropolitan for plumbing, Metropolitan for electrical, Metropolitan for air conditioning. Plumbing, electrical, air conditioning. Same prices for after hours. Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning.
Look around. As the favourites come out, it begins. Observing with an eagle eye. Mastering the art of stashing. Oh, brilliant move, Gran. Cadbury favourites. Everyone gets their favourites.
How well your kitchen performs depends what's under the hood. Unlike range hoods with mesh filters, Whisper's S-Flow baffle filtration system means grease doesn't clog, maximising extraction, minimising noise. Proudly Australian Whisper. Available in-store and online.
How's this for absolutely incredible value? MG3 Auto 5-door hatch with Apple CarPlay and reverse camera is only $15,990. The sporty MG ZS Auto SUV with alloy wheels is just $22,990. And the luxurious MG HS SUV with alloys and leatherette seats is now $29,990. All drive away with 7-year warranty and roadside assist. Only at John Hughes MG in Victoria Park.
An Aston Martin supercar has had to be towed away after crashing in Melbourne's CBD overnight. The V12 Aston Martin Vanquish turned into Collins Street, smashing into a tram stop railing. The car, worth almost $500,000, suffered significant damage to its front end. Police say the woman driver fled on foot and left her 27-year-old male passenger at the scene. He's been spoken to by police, who are still searching for the driver. While Beijing is bringing back strict containment rules, Italy, home of Europe's first serious outbreak, is lifting them. That's despite still having 200 or 300 new COVID-19 cases a day.
Slowly, Italy is emerging, but Trastevere's medieval streets have been utterly changed by COVID. 4 generations of the Bizzarri family have packed this street with tourists and locals. Now they're struggling to survive.
It's like the first week of my job. I don't know how to say. I've restarted again something that was mine, but it's totally different and changed.
Social distancing means each table must be at least a metre apart, and so they've gone from 120 place settings to just 30. They were too small to even open when distancing was set at 1.5 metres. Now the 3 staff are all family, so they can work together without the need to distance. It's a changed operation, but one they believe is necessary.
I'm more worried about how the virus will go for work. I mean, because if it's September, I have a lockdown or something, I'm sad to say that probably the restaurant will be over.
The messaging on distancing is all around. COVID has wrought a dreadful toll on Italy's society and economy. The need to protect the population whilst allowing businesses to reopen is why social distancing was relaxed. Those who are trying to revive their businesses have sympathy with the challenge facing the British hospitality sector.
In the UK, they're discussing changing from 2 metres to 1. As a business person in Italy, how do you think that would work?
1 meter, I think, is enough. If I can suggest to your country, just to give an help to the business, to the economy, 1 meter is okay. We manage well.
Social distancing is practiced and enforced here in Italy more strictly than in many parts of Europe. But the reality is that as life starts to get back to normal, the boundaries blur, whatever the official advice.
And that is why masks are such a part of Italy's public health response. Obligatory inside public places, advised in close quarters outside. The lack of them in the UK worries those fighting the pandemic here.
You can pass from 2 to 1 meter
provided you wear a mask, provided you wash your hands, provided you try and avoid crowded places. Then it will be okay.
Italy does not pretend to be expert in COVID response, but as a country, they've tried to find practical steps to control this pandemic, in the hope that one day soon, distance can give way to closeness once more.
Now to spectacular pictures from an aircraft hangar. Fortunately, this display wasn't triggered by a real-life emergency. Staff at Turkish Airlines decided to hit record as they tested the building's fire suppression system. And the smoke sensors appear to be working, setting off the sprinklers that start the mesmerising foam rainfall. The English Premier League resumed early this morning our time, 100 days since the last ball was kicked. There were no fans in the stadiums, but there was plenty happening on the pitch. And the games weren't just altered by the virus, but by changing attitudes to race.
Another few steps towards normality. There are many who thought this moment would not be possible, at least not this soon. Players have found their voices since lockdown and are using their profiles to encourage change in the game and beyond. They also insisted football should make time to show gratitude to those on the coronavirus front line. A socially distanced period of reflection for NHS workers, followed by a choreographed moment that might have looked out of place just a few months ago. Now it's encouraged. They've dressed the ground to disguise as best they could the missing thousands. Everywhere you look, there's a reminder of the bigger picture in the outside world. The big game roar will be absent, replaced by the echo of players' voices. Outside Villa Park today, no matchday buzz, no beers, no burgers, just empty streets, barriers and security. The club has urged fans to stay away or risk all future games being played at neutral venues. Some, though, ignored the warning, finding the lure of the occasion too difficult to resist. At the government's daily briefing, the Culture Secretary said seeing football again should give the country a lift.
There's no doubt that this is a hugely symbolic moment, an important step forward in our careful journey back towards normality. Players back in their place of work and a boost for our football-loving nation.
While many agree football's return is a metaphor for Britain slowly getting...
Oh, no, it's not.
For fans, a whole new matchday experience.
1 point's better than no points. But how many should it have been? But yeah, it's been good. Bit of normality. It's back, finally.
Similar scenes played out in Manchester tonight. A match pitching one manager who lost his mother to COVID against another whose infection caused the league to be halted in the first place.
Well, every protocol is different. The way we travel is different. The way we are sitting in the dressing room is different. We have to adapt, find the right motivation. The crowd makes a huge difference in terms of the energy and the passion on the games.
And we'll have the results of those games in sport right after the break.
Sweetheart, don't cry. I'll rub my eyes on you.
Felt like he gave up on us.
I don't know if the marriage can be saved.
How do you mend a broken family?
Sweetheart, don't cry. I'll rub my eyes all night. If you should need me.
Tell me that you don't love me and I'll walk away.
If you should need me.
Home and Away, weeknights on 7.
With Belong, you get 10 gigs of mobile data for $25 a month. That's 10 gigs of family time, 10 gigs of scrolling through memory lane, 10 gigs of staycations, or 10 gigs of catching up with the family. Plus, unlimited international calls and texts to selected countries for $5 extra. We all spend family time differently. Together, we're different. Belong.
AutoSpark for batteries, AutoSpark for air conditioning and regas, AutoSpark for vehicle lighting and wiring, AutoSpark for mechanical and electrical repairs for all makes of cars, trucks, SUVs and four-wheel drives. with highly trained technicians, mechanical services, electrical repairs and much more. The trusted professionals at Autospark will find, fix, regas or service it with the best advice. Car won't start? Call Autospark.
Drive now, pay later on selected Volkswagen Amaroks and vans. Hit the ground rolling with your first 3 monthly repayments on us. Plus, get a 1.99% interest rate.
Volkswagen.
Shut up and take my money.
Nothing like a party in the summertime. Nothing like seeing you, baby, looking so fine. Ooh, nothing like a party.
Design, performance, exceptional value. A Mazda stands out. At the Mazda Standout End of Financial Year event, get a Mazda CX-3 Neo Sport from $23,990 drive away. Search Mazda offers now.
We'll take the old grout out and put the new grout in. We'll fix your leaking shower, make it brand new and sparkling. Grout Guard.
There is where you are, and there is where you want to get to. ECU is the bridge between your world and the whole world.
Australia's lucky numbers. Can you pick which ones win most and the ones you should avoid on Sunrise?
You're watching Seven's Afternoon News. Basil joins us now. Baz, you've got the teams for round 3.
We have, Sam, yes, and all eyes are on Jesse Hogan right at this very moment. The Dockers hit the training track on the Gold Coast. He's been named in Freo's extended squad, but he has been named in the team to play Port Adelaide on Sunday. He's one of 6 inclusions, alongside Stephen Hill, Nathan Wilson and Connor Blakely. For the Eagles, 2 changes. Will Schofield has replaced the suspended Jeremy McGovern, and it's Rotham in for Nelson for the match against Brisbane at the Gabba on Saturday night. Now, if Hogan does make it through training tonight, Justin Longmuir has confirmed he will play. His first game in a year will be a special moment for Hogan and his teammates.
I think they'll be really pleased and really proud of him. When he came back to the club, our leaders wanted to judge him on his actions, not his words. And everything that I've seen so far, his actions have been outstanding and deserves his opportunity if he gets it.
Good stuff, yeah. Longmuir says the Dockers who aren't picked this weekend won't be able to play a game because Port Adelaide hasn't brought their whole squad to the Gold Coast hub. Melbourne coach Simon Goodwin isn't happy with former Crows teammate and close friend Mark Risciuto. The Demons boss says the Adelaide board members' brutal criticism of Jake Lever is unfair and wrong.
It's one of footy's unwritten laws. Don't talk about rival clubs. So when Adelaide board member Mark Risciuto revealed sensitive information about Jake Lever's move to Melbourne on radio, Simon Goodwin wasn't happy.
I think it's unfair for Jake to have that thrown out there first and foremost. I just don't think it's right.
Goodwin's referring to this.
Jake Lever got a 5-year deal on $800,000 to $850,000. Very comfortable that we let him go on that money. He's probably a $500,000 player. There's some things in that discussion that were put out there that just aren't right.
So you're saying he's not on any more than $800,000?
No.
Risciuto today stood by his comments and can expect a phone call from Goodwin.
Trying to shed some light on the decisions you make in list management. I was not trying to insult Jake Lever.
It doesn't happen around the industry much where you get out there and you try and talk about specifics of players' deals, and I think it's really unfair on the player.
People want people to tell the truth. People cry out for it, and then when you try and give them a bit more of an insight in, you get a whack.
Just reassured him that, we love what he brings to our footy club, and he's a class act, Jake. He'll just get on with it.
Melbourne has won 6 of its past 10 games against Essendon, but the undefeated Bombers will start favourites at the MCG. And D's defender Marty Hoare had a scan late this afternoon after suffering a quad injury in a gym accident while recovering from a broken toe. Sean Sowerby, 7 News.
Justin Langer says having to tell a key staff member he'd lost his job is one of the hardest things he's had to do in cricket. The national coach admits it's been a tough few days for the sport in Australia, with CEO Kevin Roberts given his marching orders. Langer himself had to tell batting coach Graham Hick he'd lost his job.
Having to tell Graham Hick yesterday morning was like facing Ambrose and Walsh without a helmet and a box on. I was that nervous.
WACA Chief Executive Christina Matthews is a contender for the top job at Cricket Australia. An unprecedented video failure has marred the return of the English Premier League. The goal line technology malfunctioned during the clash between Sheffield United and Aston Villa. It denied Sheffield the match-winning goal.
It's not even close, it's miles.
Cristiano Ronaldo's Juventus has been upstaged in the final of the Coppa Italia. Napoli defeated Juve 4-2 on penalties to claim the silverware. Social distancing quickly went out the window as supporters spilled onto the streets to celebrate with flares. It's Napoli's first major trophy since 2014. When we said celebrate with flares, we meant like, the ones they shoot up, not the jeans.
Not the bell-bottoms.
No. You still got some of those?
No.
I view wear them in sometimes.
They'll come back.
Yeah. Well, you've still got yours. Thank you, Sam.
See you at 6. Thanks, Baz. It looks like we're in for a fine weekend. I'll have the forecast right after the break.
This is where WA starts the day.
From this morning, COVID-19 restrictions are being relaxed.
If it's breaking in Perth,
Live now to the crime scene.
you'll see it on Sunrise.
Royal Perth Hospital.
Sunrise is Perth News.
Very good news to start our Wednesday.
Sunrise, the best way to start your day in WA.
Unbeaten for 52 weeks and 14 matches in a row.
It's Tiger time!
But after one close call,
It's a draw!
is their number finally up? Will the Tigers slip up?
Look out!
When the Hawks know that an upset is on the cards. Then, tomorrow, the most heated rivalry. The most controversial player.
Real dangerous!
When the Giants take on the Bulldogs, all hell will break loose. Two blockbuster clashes start with Thursday Night Footy. Go to the footy on 7 Mate.
Coronavirus hit our business hard, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Easing restrictions to get small business back to work is part of a staged and carefully planned roadmap for WA. A shared journey that we're all in together. Authorised by the State Government Perth.
Hi everyone. It is so important that we keep active. I'm really trying to track my food. I've lost 2 kilos.
Feeling good. Thanks, WW. Join today with this limited time offer at www.com or download the app.
Craft Acre's end of financial year sale. Overstocked. 50,000 square metres reduced. No one has a range like Craft Acre. For large orders, make us an offer. Cannington, Joondalup, Mandurah, Osborne Park and South Fremantle. Craft Acre. Best tiles, best prices.
Macca's new cheesy burgers are your favourites, only cheesier. A golden mozzarella patty with 100% Aussie beef or chicken, and mozzarella sticks are back. Macca's new cheesy range, only for a limited time.
The Amazon mid-year sale is live now. Time to get great deals on electronics, fashion, homewares and more. Plus, you'll get free delivery on eligible orders over $39. Shop amazon.com.au. Easy as.
Even remotely, our home loan specialists can zoom into your home to help you save on your next loan.
On now at Harvey Norman, get 20% off Microsoft Surface Pro 7, Pro X and Laptop 3. Like this Surface Pro 7 i3 128GB, now $999, saving you $250. Or this Surface Laptop 3 with the latest Intel i5 processor, now $1,359, savings $340. With 60 months interest free available, don't miss out. Get 20% off Microsoft Surface Pro 7, Pro X and Laptop 3. On now at Harvey Norman.
The Super Nerd.
Time for laughing is over.
The Super Team.
My worst nightmare.
Get ready for Australia's 5 o'clock obsession to go supercharged.
Indian friend league dolphins tea. It's gone.
New The Chase. Weekdays on 7.
This weather report brought to you by Bridgestone Select for tyres and car servicing.
Good afternoon, it's Savannah here with a check of your roads and a bit of a patchy run on your freeways. Firstly, northbound slow Mounts Bay Road up to Hay Street, then it's on and off from Vincent Street to Reed Highway. Heading southbound, the brake lights start Ocean Reef Road through the city to Mill Point Road, again Berrigan Drive and once more at Russell Road. You can save $70 off a new RAC combined home and contents insurance policy for the first year when you buy online. Get a quote at rac.com.au. More traffic tomorrow morning.
Now Fuel Watch, Perth's petrol prices. Brought to you by Fuel Watch and 7 News.
Checking the weather now, showers and winds have eased this afternoon. We hit a top of 18 degrees. And looking at the national forecast, morning fog and frost for Canberra tomorrow and showers developing in Adelaide. Back to Perth, very cold tonight, then a fine day tomorrow, 18. A sunny weekend, 20 on Saturday, 22 on Sunday. The showers will return on Monday with a chance of a thunderstorm, and the wet weather will hang around until at least Thursday. Finally, we'd like you to meet Akobe, a 2-month-old hippo who's exploring his new home at San Diego Zoo. The pygmy calf was recently moved, along with his mother Mabel, from the maternity area to a larger habitat. He's already hit 18 kilograms on the scales. Akobe is the first successful birth of this particular breed at San Diego Zoo in more than 30 years. And I'll see you with Rick, Sue and Baz for 7 News at 6. Stay with us for The Chase Australia.
It's the biggest twist in Australian TV history.
Your game is not quite at an end.
Yes! Now Australia can't wait for Sunday.
Yes!
For the first time, she's taking over. They have no idea she controls everything they do.
Get comfortable and begin plotting your revenge.
She will hear what they say.
Oh no. Ding dong, the witch is dead. No! No!
You will be the household butler.
Are you serious?
Oh my God. This is the best thing ever.
None of them will be ready for her plot twist.
Wait, what is going on?
That'll turn the game.
Oh, big brother. You've actually outdone yourself.
On its head. Wow. The biggest night in TV is here.
You have no idea what's coming.
The Big Brother Takeover on 7. Don't miss Sunday 7 o'clock and catch up on 7+.
These 4 strangers must work as a team to win thousands of dollars, but standing in their way is one of the sharpest minds in Australia, the Chaser. The chase is on. Welcome to Chase Australia. Great to have your company. A very colourful team we have back here, and I'm not just talking about the clothes, the stories as well. Let's meet them.
G'day, I'm Phil. I'm a truck driving drummer with a passion for tattoos, travel and music.
Hi, I'm Kerry. I run a cafe with my husband and I'm here to win some money for our belated honeymoon.
Hi, I'm Jake. I decided to become a paramedic after running my foot over with a lawnmower.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm a mum, a handy woman, and I'll have a go at fixing anything.
That's my team. Hunting them all the way will be the Chaser. If they get caught, they'll lose the money and go home, make it through the bank, and they could share in a great team cash prize. Now, everyone must face the Chaser tonight. Phil's first.